2025 is a year with a lot of really great re-releases, and among those, Acer and Grem have easily been some of the most highly anticipated. People have been clamoring for these guys to come back for years now, and to finally have them back on store shelves is so great. It took me a while to find Acer. The original case that he was in never hit my stores, which means I missed out on him the first time around, and also I missed out on Jonathan Gearson, who unfortunately I still don't have. Hopefully that's an item that I can find soon. But Acer did eventually make it to some of my stores. I found him at a local toy store and picked him up a few weeks back, and I actually found several copies of him at a Target about a week or two ago. They had like 4 of him, so I picked up one for a repaint, as well as a Grem for a repaint. You can never have enough lemons, right? You can never have too many. I'm very excited to repaint them into some new lemon background characters whenever I need lemons. But of course, this original Acer I wanted to pick up so that I could get my hands on the Thailand variant of him and see the differences between my original 2011 Acer. That is not my original Acer, guys. That's the expression variant. Here we go. My original 2011 Acer and the new Thailand re-release. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another review and to another 2025 Cars Diecast review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the re-release of Acer, a highly anticipated re-release. The last time we saw this guy on store shelves, just his normal variant, was back in 2015, 10 years ago. A pretty long gap, but not as long a gap as there was for Grem, whose last release was 2012. Yeah, Acer's regular variant came out a few years later, all by himself in the Tokyo Party series in 2015. So, not as big a gap for Acer, but still a pretty big one. You know, interestingly enough, NCAP Cars recently made some really cool charts and infographics on the Cars Diecast line, and he did the math, and he put together that Grem is the longest gap between diecast releases in the history of the Cars Diecast line, with 13 years between releases. That is, if you're not counting haulers, if you're just counting like single cars. If you count the haulers, then Jerry Recycle Batteries and Gil and Chet Boxcar are with a 15-year gap. But as far as regular singles go, yeah, Grem, biggest gap in releases of all time as of right now, which is absolutely wild for a character as notable in the film as Grem. Of course, you have Acer's artwork, the classic Acer art. It's so surreal to see Acer on a current card back. This is something that so many Cars fans have dreamed of for a very long time. As seen in Cars 2, we got Otis and Acer. Unfortunately, this year we only had 3 Cars 2 releases. I'm sure we'll start getting more again when the GRC stuff is done, you know. Because the GRC, we haven't been getting the World Grand Prix racers we usually do, other than in multi-packs. Anyway, here is Acer out of the package, and he looks pretty good. While I do think that Grem's Thailand variant is a pretty clear improvement over the original, and I go for why in my review of him, I'm not sure how I stand on Acer. I think the face is just something I'm not the biggest fan of. It is an adaptation of his original one, but I don't know. The eyebrow is just arced in such a strange way. You know, in hindsight, the original has it arced in a strange way too, but seeing it here, you know, with sort of the black outline Thailand gives eyebrows, it just looks odd. It looks really strange. It's not like, it doesn't look like a mischievous eyebrow raise. It just, I don't know, it doesn't even look like eyebrows to me. It looks like somebody was just trying to figure out how, like, the line tool in Adobe Illustrator worked and just left it. So not the biggest fan of that, but other than that, I am really liking the details that I'm seeing here. A lot of Acer's kind of darker colors have been swapped out for grays, which I do quite like. He has a bit of a shinier silver part here, shiny silver headlights, and here we have a still kind of shiny border around the eyes, but it is a bit more dull. We also have duller headlights, and while I'm sure some people might complain, oh, the headlights used to be shinier and now they're not, I will say I think it is pretty appropriate for a car like Acer to have kind of these dimmer headlights. I think the grille is certainly a major improvement. We have the Pacer writing there, his crooked bumper. I think I prefer the bumper on the original better. I always praise Thailand for how well they do dirt detailing, but I do think that the bumper on this original Acer looks a bit better. One thing that I really wish that they did for this Acer release is change up the color a bit. The original Acer diecast is very, very, very yellow, And the Thailand re-release is also very yellow. And that's just not Acer's color scheme. He's a much more subdued color scheme, almost like a tannish yellow. I really wish that they'd given him a more dull color scheme here. But I mean, yeah, they didn't, unfortunately. Looking at these two, yeah, colors aren't exactly lining up, unfortunately. They did actually change Grem's color for the Thailand release. I don't know how intentional that was, in all honesty, but it did end up looking really nice, and the darker orange is definitely a bit more film accurate. Moving on to the side, I'm sure we'll start to see some of Thailand's stellar dirt detailing. There we go. We got some classic dirt and grime and rust. I love the realistic rust here. I feel like I've seen so many cars that just kind of subtly rust in this way, and it looks so much more realistic than the almost cartoonish rust work on the original. Although, I do definitely prefer this rust work. I think it looks excellent. I do like what he had going on down here, which is missing. Those kind of skid marks. There is still dirt detailing down there, though. We, of course, have the Road Hug tires, one of my favorite tire brands in the Cars universe. I just think that's so funny and fun. And yeah, you can see there's just a lot more going on in terms of the damage and rust on Acer, and I think that's pretty great. Moving on to the back, we have the iconic fishbowl license plate, which was only ever used for Acer and nobody else ever. Definitely not Meldorado for some reason. Moving on to the back of the original Acer. I do like that the license plate looks a bit more beaten up. Also, his tail lights seem a bit kind of bent. They're kind of a bit at an angle, and I wonder if that's intentional or if that's like a printing thing on mine, or maybe I'm just wrong. I do also like the new window color for Acer. I think not only is it more accurate to the lighter gray windows he's supposed to have, I think it just looks better for the item. And this back bumper looks really, really good. I think I prefer the color of the new one. There is a look at his other side. Once again, some nice dirt detailing going on there. All the stuff you'd expect to see on Acer, including the Pacer writing once again. And I'd assume is that his gas cap, I would assume. And finally, there is a look at the base. Yeah, looking pretty good. We even have the little Pacer copyright under there, of course. While I do think that Grem is really, really an improvement over the original, I'd say that I think these two are pretty equal. I like the face of the original better, but I like the rust detailing on this version of Acer better. They both have their pros and cons. I think this is a case where a combination of the two would result in the perfect diecast, so long as they also change that color. But as far as re-releases go, man, it's so great to finally have Acer back, and he's definitely a great one to get if you never picked up the original. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to go see the Fantastic Four movie now. I've heard very good things, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.